Hey, good morning, Matt. Welcome back, and good to see you again. Welcome to everybody joining us. Matt, how you doing today?
Feeling great. Feeling great, but I don't know. I think I'm going to put a few things off until tomorrow that I wanted to do today.
Oh, why would you do that, Matt?
I don't know. They drain energy from me. They're things that I don't really want to do, and I don't
hmm
know.
Are you talking about procrastinating, Matt? Are you going to
Oh,
procrastinate to what you can
yes,
do today and put it off until tomorrow?
absolutely. And as you say, that's the saddest day of humankind.
That's right. Saddest day in the history of the human race is when man learned the meaning of the word tomorrow, because that's the day we started taking the things that we could do today, the things that make an impact on our world, on those that mean something to us, on our lives, right? And we put it off until tomorrow. And by the way, I'm world class at this. If they were giving away medals, I would be on the top of the podium earning gold because when I have something that frustrates me, that takes mental energy, and it exhausts me. And I'm like, oh, I really hate that. I put it off. I put it off. And what I find is when I finally do it, it wasn't that bad. When I finally attack it, I can get it done in like 15 minutes when it's something that I allocated 4 hours for. And I don't know why I do that, but I let it still own me. And as we always say, if we don't own it, it owns us, whatever that it might be. For me, it's procrastination. I don't always own my time. I don't own my procrastination. And as a result, I let it own me. And I don't know, Matt, tell me a little bit about your views of that and how you work with people that you see procrastinating and help you and how you help them overcome some of that.
Yeah, well, we opened this talking about there are certain activities that drain us and that we want to put to the side. And
hmm
then I think there's, another thing that or reason why people procrastinate, and you said it a couple of days ago, but things that they might fear. And the example of that I see on a daily basis is prospecting. Right.
mm
I coach salespeople and sales managers and leaders every single day. And so procrastination is almost another word for me in prospecting at this point, interchangeable, because we
mm
always find reasons why we should do something else, or we always find a better use of our time. But as salespeople, what is a better use of our time? Are we just being busy, or are we doing those RGAs, which are revenue generating activities uh, in our verbiage?
hmm hmm Yeah, and it's so important that we stay consistent with that because when we procrastinate, like I have something hanging over my head that I haven't delivered and I know I need to, and it's been probably 2 months that I've let this go. And why? Why is it taking so long for me? Oftentimes it's just making a phone call, or it's just digging in and making myself uncomfortable for, like I said, a half hour to an hour. It doesn't take a whole day. But procrastination becomes the thing that the single greatest thing that makes us lose credibility with others. It becomes that thing that damages relationships. It damages outcomes, and often we procrastinate things so long that they become irrelevant. You know, rather than dealing with the problem becomes bigger. The problem ends up becoming taking on its own personality. The problem becomes itself, right? It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy essentially, where the thing we avoid and the thing we don't want to do becomes the problem. When if we would have addressed it when we first had the opportunity, if we would have addressed it early, it would have never materialized into a problem.
No doubt. I think you're spot on there that if we just take care of it, it doesn't allow the smaller problem to take root and to grow to a bigger problem, which we see that all the time by avoidance, by procrastination. So that leads us to the question, how do we stop procrastinating, or what are some tips or ways to look at this? I think it starts with time management, or potentially more important, energy management.
hmm
And so those tasks or those things that we don't want to do, is there a certain time of day we should do it, or is there a certain way to schedule? What are your thoughts about that? Because we all know immediately and can list three things that we don't like to do that sucks energy from us and are always the bottom of the to-do list.
Yeah, that's a great point. I love the phrase where focus goes, energy flows. And for me, I'm a much better morning person than I am afternoon person. Catch me around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm ready for a nap. I mean, sometimes the days are long and draining, and I know you're the same way, Matt. Right? At the end of the day, you usually are ready to wrap it up. And Matt's famous for quitting work around 3 or 4, going home, having some focused family time, and coming back at it late at night and getting a few more hours in. So that's his routine. That's how he's learned how to manage it. That's how he's learned how to own it. For me, I like to tackle things early morning, and when I get behind in the morning, I'm going to be behind all day because it becomes real easy to reprioritize things on the fly. So this is where weekly planning and the night before planning becomes so important, because we can comment in our planner, we can actually prioritize in that planner and say, this is the most important thing I need to do tomorrow, and I need to get it done before these other things. Because if it's something that's taking some mental energy, if it's something that's seen as a big lift, and we wait till we get into the day, we're probably not going to be ready to attack it again. So it's part of that, as Matt said, knowing when your time is, when's your goal time. Do you block time on your calendar to attack those things? Do you block time on your calendar for like actual work to get done, or focused time? Which I love that Microsoft Outlook is suggesting to me now, focus time. I don't always take advantage of that. I usually delete it and schedule meetings over top of it. But today is a good reminder to me that I might need to do that. I might need to take advantage of that focus time so I can focus on some things that need my energy.
Hmm. Yeah, and so I think what you're saying there, time management, scheduling, proactively looking at our calendars on a weekly and a daily basis. We're going to procrastinate a whole lot more if we don't do that. Understanding when our peak energy is, or throughout the day, when we have higher energy than others. And for me, I think a third thing is those tasks that we don't necessarily like to do, or we fear a little bit, or suck energy from us. Sometimes they're more than just a 15-minute activity.
Hmm.
For me, it's might sound counterintuitive, but putting together proposals. I do not like putting together proposals because by that point we've probably already won it, and it's just a formality with that case. And so how do I project manage that and just say, okay, making a bigger thing become smaller. All right, I'm just going to put the pricing in there in those 15 minutes, or I'm going to put another part of the proposal in the 15 minutes. When we have those bigger things that seem like a lot to tackle, it works for me to project manage and give myself permission, do this part of it. Very defined,
Hmm.
very not just like, hey, I'm going to spend a couple minutes. Because what I find is if I don't have that plan and I don't project management, I end up touching it 30 times
Hmm.
and I'm still touching it, still opening it. I'm not able to multitask. We know that's a fallacy. And something that could have taken me, an hour to do in 15-minute segments has now taken 3 days and a lot more than an hour.
Amen. And by the way, how much energy did it suck from you? How much headspace did it take from you? How much did it take away focus from other things that were probably critical and important yet not urgent?
Hmm.
Right. And then we let these things, Matt and I were with a client the other day, and we talked about how when we don't address things that are important and not urgent, they become important and urgent. And they slip into, now they need our critical time, our critical focus, and they usually aren't going to be addressed as well. So, where focus goes, energy flows. And the saddest day in the history of the human race is when we learn the meaning of the word tomorrow.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right. So we need to ask ourselves, what can we do today? What can we start to do to take ownership of this? And why is it that, what is it that motivates us or drives us to wait? Because what we know is the most successful people, they know this thing. They know that what I do today has an impact on tomorrow. Conversely, what I don't do today has an impact on tomorrow. So own the day. right? Own the day, own those little activities, force ourselves to do something uncomfortable, force ourselves to do something that might not be real exciting when we have the energy to deal with it and we can give it the attention it deserves. And we know tomorrow will be better. We hope today and tomorrow are great for all of you. We thank you for your time today. We hope that this week is good for you. We hope that you are able to be aggressive towards your goals. We hope that you're able to attack those things you don't necessarily want to do. We hope that you start to master procrastination and own it before it owns you. We hope you have a great week. Take care and God bless.